Hi, this is Hassan Awalsi. I am going to introduce the electrostatics chapter for you in grade 10. Let's start with the charging by friction. We will consider a plastic rod and a piece of fur. We will rub the plastic rod against fur. It becomes negatively charged. Then we got another plastic rod that is also negatively charged. They repel each other when they are brought together. Now let's take a glass rod that is rubbed against silk. It becomes positively charged. If we have two glass rod, then they repel each other. So the conclusion here is that we can make a body negatively or positively charged by friction, like the plastic rod or the glass rod. Then we have two charges, the negative charge and the positive charge, and two charges of same sign repel each other. Let's consider now a negatively charged rod and a positively charged rod that are brought together. Then they attract each other. Then we can conclude that two opposite charges repel each other. Now let's define conductors and insulators. Insulators are materials in which it's too hard for the charge to move, like wood, plastic, glass. Conductors are materials in which charges can move easily, like copper, silver, etc. The second mode of charging is charging by contact. Bring a rod positively charged and put it close to a neutral metallic ball. You will notice that the positively charged rod attract the ball, the neutral ball. Then when they enter in contact, some of the electrons move from the ball to the rod, and you have to pay attention that only electrons can move in the ball or from the ball to the rod. Then once the ball loses the electrons, it will become positively charged and the two bodies will repel each other. This process of charging the ball, it becomes positively charged, is called charging by contact. Now let's define what is an electroscope. It is a device that is used to detect the presence of electric charge. It's formed of a knob of the electroscope like a metallic ball, and we have two thin leaves from the other extremity of the electroscope. They are related together, and then if the ball is charged, if it is brought closer to a negatively or positively charged body, then the two leaves separate and it detects that we have a negatively or positively charged body. The third mode of charging is charging by induction. Let's bring a negatively charged rod and approach it from the knob of a neutral electroscope. It repels the electrons from the knob toward the two leaves. Then the two leaves, negatively charged, repel each other. This mode of charging the electroscope is called charging by induction, and we call it also charging at distance, since the negatively charged rod does not touch the knob. If we need to know the quantity of electric charge on a charged body Q, Q in absolute value equals N times E, where N is the number of charges. Electrons in deficit are in excess on a body, and E is the elementary charge, 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb. When we multiply these two quantity, we got the quantity of charge. Coulomb states his famous law. It's about the force of interaction between two charged body. It's proportional to the charges Q1 and Q2 of the two bodies, and inversely proportional to the distance squared between the two bodies. Q1 and Q2 should be expressed in Coulomb, and the distance should be expressed in meter. K is 9 10 to the power 9, and it's assumed to be constant in air. This is the end of the chapter. This was Hassan Nabulsi from ED Plus. Thank you for your patience and see you in next chapters.